hitting back.
Good morning,
Though
people.
she says, we're going
I
to
am
exercise
with
a fair
Matt.
chance. We're going to come back
I'm
after this.
listening to Justina.
Leadership is making sacrifices. When
Listen
God has
to
prepared
Justina, people.
all some of them to come back and assist him to work, where were they? They refused to come on numerous occasions, under stress, under the financial difficulties that we had. Probably they thought the salary was not big enough because at that time we did not have.
I would like to see Justina's face. Lord, somebody put Justina on camera for me. Please, somebody watch her in her face while she says that.
Tell them I say they were worse in betraying their child than anybody else.
Because
Tell them I say they were worse than anybody else. Because if you love their child, you will come and work with him. If you love their child, you will not criticize him. And if they love their child, they will stand with their child's family, they will stand with their child's wife and encourage her if you are love their child. So love their child and tomorrow.
Bazinga. They will come and support Pierre Charles' wife.
Good morning to you.
Quappa way, as Auntie Sister would say. Magoesa.
All right.
Elas.
Let me express my condolences to the Christmas family in Marigot.
Lord
I
have
know
mercy.
Mr. Christmas
Justina.
very well.
Justina, go and read a
It's
book.
always very painful to lose a wife or a mother.
Go and read a book, Justina. Uplift yourself. Get out of from where you are there, Justina. This is not a good place. This is not a good place for any woman to be. Get out of there, Justina. I know the money is tempting. I know the money is tempting, Justina, but the root of all evil is money. Get out of there, lady, please. Honor your husband.
To carry on. So, with prayers and good thoughts, from all of us, sympathies.
Oh
So,
my
Matt, what is
God.
it you wish to talk about?
Apparently, I'm a little sort of, if you will, confused with the statement of the
Justina.
wife of Pierre Charles, Justina Charles, this morning. Because in the news on Kyrie, they were making apparent references to persons like you when, that they believe that Justina was speaking to persons like yourself.
Well, Matt, first of all, let me preface what I'm going to say by this fact. Pierre Charles was a very deep and close friend to all of us.
Okay.
Right? And I'm sure that, his passing and the circumstances of his passing will and still remain for me a matter of grave concern.
Justina,
And
may I ask you a question?
But I manage my
Did
anger
you
very well.
love Pierre Charles,
And,
Justina? Justina, if
when I
you
listen
loved
to
Pierre
Justina,
Charles,
who
you
is
would be
also a friend,
honoring his memory and
I
not
to the tone of her voice,
to be
and I
involved
recognize that
in what
it
you
is
are
not the
involved
woman
in
I
there
know
today.
as Justina who is speaking.
Did you
Somebody
love Pierre
else,
Charles,
some other
Justina?
force is speaking through her. Justina, I know, is a compassionate, caring, loving person.
Oh my
The voice
God.
that you played on that clip is not compassionate, is not caring, and is not loving. Pierre Charles is a comrade, a friend who kept the Labour Party alive in the intervening period during the long hiatus.
If you
of the
loved
Labour
Pierre
Party
Charles,
in
you'd be
opposition.
supporting his wife.
And
Supporting
Pierre
his
Charles is
wife
somebody that goes back
to be
with
in
some
that
of
kind
us
of thing,
way
Justina?
back to the 70s.
Justina, you want
70s.
people to support you in
And
that
so
kind of
we have
evil
the
business
opportunity
that you are
to
in with
know
Labour
each
Party,
other very
Justina?
well,
Are you
and to
kidding
be
me,
there for
Justina?
each other,
Justina, you need to.
particularly in times
You
of
need
crisis.
to. Oh my God, what is wrong with this?
When Pierre,
Yeah.
when I assisted
What have
the
they done
Labour
to my
Party
people?
at the
What
request of
have
the
they
late
done to my people?
Roosevelt Douglas in the campaign of 2000, it was because there has always been a strong link with people like myself and the Labour Party, going all the way back to Edward Lee Blunt. Pierre Charles was one who encouraged me to come and assist, and I did. And you know the results of that.
So you never abandoned Pierre Charles? He never reached out to you and, you ignored him?
Well, I'm coming to that. When Rosie died and Pierre became Prime Minister, remember by that time I had left the Dominica Labour Party. I had resigned. You will recall that I resigned in 2000.
I remember that.
Rosie died later that year, and Pierre became Prime Minister. Pierre and I had never broken communication. Most people will not know this, but some of what I'm going to share with you has never been shared before, publicly. Pierre was living at that time at Mount Bruce when he became Prime Minister. You remember that?
I remember that, yes.
Okay. One of the requests that Pierre made of me personally, he said, Ati, I'm going to need some help to sort of manage this thing. What would you suggest? I suggested, Pierre, look, let's put a group of people that you trust together and let's meet with you once a week. That was done. That group included people like the late Alfred Henry. It included people like my dear friend and colleague and supporter, mentor, champion of business, E.H. Charles. It included lots of other people, Mr. Winston, Herbert Suki from time to time. And in other words, we assembled a group of about 8 or 9 of us who every Saturday morning met with Pierre. I coordinated that group for months. And we reviewed with Pierre how things were going. We gave him advice. We wrote thought papers for him. We gave him talking points for his discussions in cabinet. We gave him talking points for his presentations to the public. We assisted him in preparing for some of his overseas trips. And that went on for a significant period of time.
Oh my God.
Most people don't know that. Now, for a very interesting and revealing fact. Tony Astafan did not know Pierre Charles. He knew Rosie, and he was close to Rosie. Tony Astafan called me one day and said, look, I need an introduction to this man.
I cannot even eat my breakfast.
I said,
I cannot even eat my breakfast. This morning, Justin.
Campaign and so forth and so on.
Justin, this morning you make me don't want to eat my breakfast.
And
I'm so disgusted.
One of the Saturday mornings, I said to Tony, look, why don't you come up with me a little early? We're going to meet with Piero. Let's go. We'll have breakfast and I'll introduce you. We'll talk.
Papa,
I brought Tony to the house at Mount Bruce and introduced him to Pierre Charles. Pierre had prepared breakfast, and I forget it was ham and so and cucumber, and Pierre was totally local, Ita. Very lovely, very good. We sat down there, and in hindsight, I must therefore accept some of the responsibility for losing Tony Astafan on Pierre Charles. Because I brought Tony to Pierre's house, the Prime Minister's residence at the mall, and introduced them. And there, I think, began a very sad part of Dominica's history and the Labour Party's history, because over the period of time, unknown to me, I found this out later, Tony then started making his own personal, private approaches to Pierre Charles.
A vulture.
Like a vulture. Like a vulture. He borrowed burrowed his way into a special relationship with Pierre Charles, a man he had never known, never even cared to know. Because
an
when
opportunist.
Justina talks about those who didn't care about Pierre Charles, she must remember that all the time that Rosie was alive, as far as people like Tony were concerned, Pierre Charles was not even a person. He was insignificant.
But hold on there, Anthony, because I have two separate incidents here, and I'm very happy that you are revealing these things this morning. So what did Tony Astafan meant when he said that right after the death of Pierre Charles?
Members of the Dominica Labour Party were prepared to stand up in front of the man and insult him. When nobody's going to convince me otherwise, he was driven to his grave by this campaign of vilification, and in more recent times, what he told Simeon and I on Monday as treachery when he stretched out their hands for the help. Where were they? They were biting it and stabbing him in the back at the same time.
So who oh boy, who was Astafan referring to at that time?
He's clearly referring to the Labour Party people. Remember, if we fast forward, our discussions with Pierre Charles on the Saturday mornings came to an end after about 6 months. So that was 2001. Go forward to 2002, 2003. Pierre Charles was there, Karen. We still remained in contact, he and I. He asked me to do certain things. I still wrote certain things for him and gave him some thought papers and so on. But the meetings that we had on a Saturday morning ended. And it ended, I'm pretty sure, because people like Tony had managed to convince Pierre that he didn't need to be meeting with him. All he needed was him, Tony. So by that time, Tony now became, if you will, the manager. He began to coordinate and control, the process in the same way that he had previously. He assumed even more control in that regard. So he became intimate with the internal ongoings on of the Labour Party, which is why he was in the best position to make that assessment that he made in the clipping that you just played again. Because he knew that while he had stuck his claws into Pierre Charles and made himself almost indispensable to the running of the government under Pierre Charles, he knew that others,
the puppet master,
very pleased that he was
puppet master
to give Pierre openly in public a lift. Because the others, as we found out on the occasion of Pierre Charles' death, wanted that power. But Tony wouldn't allow them, because Tony had succeeded in getting his claws into the person that he perceives was the power in government, Pierre Charles.
Lord.
Tony was
Dominicans.
Concluded that in fact it was Pierre's colleagues in the Labour Party at that time who Pierre had turned to for help, no longer us, because we were not meeting with Pierre at that time. We had stopped meeting with Pierre as a group long before. So it was his colleagues now who wanted to get at him, and Tony wanted to vigorously prevent that because he felt that he would lose control. And so Tony is absolutely correct. He wasn't referring to us, because Tony, effectively we were out of the picture by then. We were not there. We were not meeting. We were not talking, etc. As a group, Pierre called me occasionally, and so forth. So Justina must not try to distort history. Justina knows, because I'm going to share something else with you. Justina knows that on many occasions, you remember Justina was studying in Jamaica. When Pierre became Prime Minister, I think she was overseas at that time or soon thereafter. She was furthering her studies in medicine and so forth as a nurse. And she would come home periodically on vacation, and we would speak, because I know her. And she would say to me, Auntie, Pierre is not well. And then she told me about, his condition and so on. I said, well, I know that. I see he's getting overweight and he's not exercising. Here's a man who was an athlete, a basketball player. And she said, Aggie, we have to get Pierre out of this thing because this job will kill my husband.
Mm-hmm.
Almost an exact quote. And she didn't just say it to me once. She said it many times because we spoke on different occasions. And, she said the stress and the pressure that he was under was getting to him. And you have other clippings of Pierre himself telling his colleagues about, about the pressure he was under. He could take the pressure from the opposition, but he couldn't take the pressure from people inside of his party and government. And so Pierre, knew that he was under a lot of pressure. Justina knew that Pierre was under a lot of pressure. Justina spoke with me on many occasions. I suspect she also spoke with other of our colleagues, of Pierre's colleagues, and said, let's save Pierre, let's get him out of this thing. And unfortunately, by that time, Tony had his claws in, so Tony didn't want him to get out because Tony was now in a position of control of the power, as he revealed in the clipping you just played. So Justina.
Dominicans, Tony Astafan.
This is an election.
Tony Astafan is a dangerous man in Dominica. Dominicans.
I mean,
Dominicans.
that Justina knew Pierre was not well. It is a fact that she knew.
Have you heard the story of how he came into Labour Party? Have you heard the story of how he came in and why he came in and why he is still there?
It was Roosevelt. It was Vince.
Continue to be Tony's useful idiot still. Continue to be Tony's useful idiot still, Dominicans.
Of the Labour Party that wanted power and that stole power from a dying man. That is what that is the truth. And that is what Justina knows. She absolutely knows. And that is what she was trying as a wife to prevent. She did try to stop it. We did try to tell Pierre to get away from this. In fact, we even discussed, and Pierre raised the idea of... Hello?
Yes, I'm here. Go ahead.
Pierre himself, in one conversation, had raised the possibility of calling an early election because those guys were harassing him so much and were disrespecting him so much that, in fact, Pierrot considered calling an election. He said, "You're trying to give me a lot of pressure. Let's go back to the polls and let's see who will win their seats, etc., etc." But that didn't happen. Pierre's not that kind of vindictive.
Pierre didn't write anything before he died. He didn't write something. He didn't write something.
A friend, a true friend.
He doesn't have a video message somewhere.
For a friend, what hurt Pierre and what got to his soul and then eventually to his body was the fact that people that he thought were his colleagues and friends and party members and ministerial, cohorts were the ones who turned against him. Justina knows that. So Justina is clearly attempting, only because of the politics of the moment, to distort the history of her husband's death. Justina, my friend, don't do that. That's unfair, not just to you.
But to
if
your
you
husband.
are prepared to do it as a candidate, fine. But you also have children with Pierrot. You have children with the man. Don't confuse them. Don't misdirect them from the truth about their father. Their father was, in fact, a true patriotic hero of Dominica and of the Labour Party. So why are you attempting to make it look like while he was Prime Minister in a Labour Party government, he was big enough? Pierre was big enough to maintain contact with his friends from the Dominica Liberation Movement Alliance, from the left, because Pierre had a deep-seated conviction about what was needed for Dominica. And then these were the programs we built up over decades of work on the ground. So Justina, you know that. And
Justina, you know. Justina, you know. Justina, you know.
Greedy, power-hungry people with whom you now sit, who Tony tells you stabbed your husband in the back. Tony tells you so.
So did you love your husband?
Platform and in a voice that
did you love your husband, Justina?
To tell the world that it's Piero's real friends who betrayed him? Justina, don't do that. Not for your sake, but for your children's sake. And for the sake of Dominica, tell the truth.
You see what Labour Party people have done to people? I swear to God, I know that before this lady got into their dirty politics, she would not be that kind of person that would say what she said there last night.
Dominica and all of us in great
there's something that says "Love Fukata Shonkatapi peace." Well, Justina, last Justina, you about peace, madam.
Was you as a woman standing up bigger than the Labour Party, bigger than Roosevelt, and saying what you have said about another woman is a violation of womanhood. It's a violation of
Thank you, Arthur.
Of motherhood.
Thank you, Arthur.
You are a mother. You have born children. You probably know from your life experience as a nurse what
First
it is like
class.
for